Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Kansas City.
Royals baseball is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors for one night only. It's the Royals and the Chicago Cubs on the north side of Chicago. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the ballpark with Rex Hudler. I'm Ryan Lefevre. The Royals have won the division. They're in the postseason, but there's still something out there for them. They want the best record in the American League and home field advantage throughout the playoffs. And so they have to win one more game, Hud, this week than the Toronto Blue Jays do. So is it a stretch to say that the playoffs begin tonight?
Not a stretch whatsoever. They can tell themselves the Royals could pretend and play mind games with themselves saying, hey, look, this is our one-game playoff. Let's pretend like this is one-game take-all. And they're doing it against another playoff contending team. So this should be a real good one-game series.
They will not have to face Jake Arrieta in this one game. Yordano Ventura will pitch for the Royals. Nice to see him have a good start. He's got 12 wins, but his ERA is still high, 4.4. This would be a good playoff tune-up for him tonight.
Especially in a bandbox yard, do what you can to keep those pitches down.
Kyle Hendricks will make the start for the Chicago Cubs. When we were here at the end of May, the Royals were on a roll, and the Cubs looked like they were going to the playoffs. Well, now they are. So two teams headed to the postseason will match up tonight. Missouri Lottery. Every ticket you play gives back to schools across Missouri, so play it forward with the Missouri Lottery. And by your Kansas City Chevy dealers. Visit your local Chevy dealers today for great prices on all the new 2015 vehicles. And the Royals will be here in Chicago tonight through Thursday. One game here, a makeup from the end of May, a Saturday rainout, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday on the south side against the White Sox. Here's the Royals batting order tonight. Ben Zobrist got the day off yesterday, so he returned to the lineup, and Ned Yost keeps Alex Gordon hitting second. So Zobrist leads off with Gordon hitting second. And of course, Yordano Ventura will be hitting tonight with the National League rules. All to face 25-year-old right-hander Kyle Hendricks.
Okay, they're going to face a guy who likes to throw his fastball, but he's not overpowering. He's not a guy who's going to just blow it by you. He's going to finesse. He's a sinker, slider, kind of a slurvy cut fastball changeup guy. So he's going to present some issues if he can get ahead of that fastball. But the Royals, if his ball's up, he'll get hit. They should really pound this guy.
Here are the Cubs defensively. The Cubs are 0 defensive run saves, so they are right at average if you go by that statistic. And Miguel Montero has always been a bat first catcher, not much of a thrower, and we'll see if the Royals take advantage of that. Packed house tonight, and a lot of Royals fans who actually use their rain check ticket from late May to return to Chicago, and they're going to make a week out of it. A lot of Royals fans said that they would stick around and watch the Royals against the White Sox later this week. So Ben Zobrist digs in, and the first pitch of the game is on the outside corner for a strike. The home plate umpire is Phil Cuzzy. Hits the inside corner, and Hendricks jumps ahead 0-2.
That's the maximum average on his fastball there, 88. Now he might reach some 90s and lower, but changeup. There you go. He's going to use that, and he goes away from lefties, down into righties. He's got a curveball he'll occasionally use.
Changeup again. 2-2.
There's the breakdown. 67, almost 70% fastballs. And a cutter.
3 consecutive changeups. And LaStella, the third baseman, will make the play. And there is one down. This can be a very difficult place to pitch, and especially if it's a summer where the wind is blowing out all the time. So with the Cubs 4th in the National League in pitching, that's quite an accomplishment. And tonight it is warm, it is muggy, especially for this time of year, but there is no wind at all, which is rare to not have any kind of wind.
It is. That makes it a hitter's friendly ballpark for sure. 368 in the gaps, 400 straight away. This is the kind of field as a hitter with no wind or the wind blowing out, you aim towards the center of the field. You try to make contact, and if you get under it, you got a good chance to hit a homer.
3-0 on Alex.
And not a Royal in this lineup has ever faced Hendricks before. Johnny Gomes is the only one. He's not playing tonight.
A 4-pitch walk. Hendricks can throw a lot of pitches, and I don't mean a lot of different pitches. I'm talking about pitch count. And lately, he has not been pitching deep into games. He has made 30 starts this year, and he's only pitched 168 innings. That's the second fewest innings among all major league pitchers with at least 30 starts.
So all those bullpen guys of the Cubs down there, they know they're going to get used tonight.
Kane takes a fastball for a strike. Lorenzo hit .409 during the homestand. And here come the Let's Go Royals chants right away with 1-on-1 out in the top of the first. Changeup. So not only is it a good pitch, he throws it a lot.
Righties or lefties? And you know, he's for his move at first base, he sets up a quick move with a slow one at first base. You see the good location there. So he's going to kind of lob one over to first. Ooh, that ball's heading up.
Right to Fowler in center field, 2 down.
Boy, that's right on it. So he's got a little lob me over throw to first base and then tries to lull the runner to sleep. But this is a pitch down low where Locane was able to barrel it. Right idea.
Two down to Eric Hosmer. Fastball is cutting in on him. When we were here at the end of May, that right field portion of the bleachers was not complete. We were just a homestand away from that, so we get a chance to see the full effect of the hotly contested renovations at Wrigley Field. Not just the amount of money that it costs, but the battle between the seats in the ballpark and the seats outside of the ballpark, the rooftop seats. And they've done a great job. 1 and 2 on Hosmer.
It's beautiful, and they were able to keep that old-fashioned scoreboard in straightaway center. That's a signature landmark here at Wrigley.
Alex Gordon got a huge jump leaving first base, and he is safe. Russell coming over from short, couldn't find the ball. It hit Alex and just kind of disappeared in his uniform. And now the Cubs just realized that nobody was covering third base, so Montero, the catcher, took off up the third base line, but Alex was on his belly. So he's at second base with 2 down.
Well, looks like to me Alex is 100%. That ball caught a little bit of him and then the glove, and that's his second steal of the year. Ball ended up right underneath it.
It's the third baseman Listella going from the right side back to the left side, and now they shift the shortstop. This is like a football game with the quarterback shifting the offense. There's a fastball that just missed inside. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Haas is fortunate didn't get called out. You can't get called out looking here with a runner in scoring position first inning. Anything close, you got to be hacking.
Just nicked it foul.
Bringing those changeups into lefties, likes to use that for his strikeout pitch. Hosmer, a 301 hitter. With a runner in scoring position, he'll take the walk.
And now Hendricks has walked 2. A lot of Royals fans, and boy did we notice when we were here in May when Alcides Escobar hit the first pitch of the game for a home run into the bleachers in left field, and this place erupted like it was Kauffman Stadium.
It did, and it was great. And very similar crowd tonight. Big hit here can get him into it. Moose gradually improving that runners in scoring position average. Now it's at 288. Continues to climb because he's using the whole field.
One and one.
You are taking a chance throwing Moose inside, but you know, Hosmer, Moustakas, Gordon, all the lefties, he wants to try to tie him up. Doesn't want them to get their arms extended.
Hit sharply into the second baseman Castro. Hendricks gets around 2 walks in the top of the first inning.
He signed on. He said he thought they could get to the playoffs in year one, and he ended up being right. Joel Goldberg down by the Royals dugout. Over on the other side, this is one of the really good young teams in baseball. And in an interview back early April with Bloomberg Business, their president, Theo Epstein, had some interesting comments. He said he, meaning Epstein, compares the Cubs to the Kansas City Royals of 4 years ago, which had the most envied stable of young hitters in baseball. It took those hitters 3 years to figure out major league pitching. Last October, they got hot and came within a game of winning it all. Is it going to take that long for our guys? It very well could. Young players deserve patience. They are ahead, guys, of the game, but very interesting to see some of these good young teams being compared now to the Kansas City Royals.
And there's Theo Epstein, who ended the long curse in Boston when they won a World Series in 2004, and now trying to do the same thing here with the Cubs. They have not won the World Series since 1908. 1-2. Dexter Fowler against Yordano Ventura. In fact, the Cubs haven't even been to the World Series since 1945.
No, but this is a young team on the rise. Joe Madden was telling me before the game how proud he is of his four rookies in that lineup that he has, at least last night in that lineup. But Epstein's right. You have a core of young, talented position players. The only thing missing is a little bit of experience and some good pitching.
Two and two on Dexter Fowler, the Cubs switch hitting center fielder. On the ground to Hosmer. He will take it himself. One away. Cubs have a couple of their young big bats out of the lineup tonight, like Mike Rizzo, Kyle Schwarber, two left-hand batters who just needed a break. So here's the lineup tonight against Yordano Ventura. Chris Bryant is still in there, 99 RBIs as a rookie. And Chris Coughlin, this guy gave Yordano Ventura a bad time when Yordano started here back in May.
He was unconscious in that series.
Ventura gave up just one run in 7 innings. And that one run was an RBI from Coughlin, who was 3 for 3 in that game. And now he hits one right on the nose, but right to Hosmer. And 2 quick outs for Yordano Ventura.
Yordano can do the same thing that he did this last time he towed the slab here. That would be very acceptable for Ned Yost. Now watch Hosmer. This is fundamentally sound. Watch how he follows this feed. Okay, he's leading him with a toss, but see how he took 4 or 5 steps running towards the bag. You get momentum on the throw and you're more accurate. That's fundamentally correct.
I think he even said something to Ventura too.
How did he get there?
And now Chris Bryant. The expectations on this young man were tremendous, and he has come through. 26 home runs, 99 driven in. As far as all rookies go in the major leagues, he's hit the most home runs, he's driven in the most runs, he has the highest on base percentage, and he has the highest slugging percentage.
I don't know how he can't win that award. He definitely will. I had an idea he was going to be successful as a hitter here because of his swing. He has a really good inside-out swing. He has the ability to lift balls that are down low, like we've seen a few players in the league. J.D. Martinez, Chris Davis, the first baseman for the Orioles. He has a good uppercut. Oh, man. Look at that place.
And that, if there was a bullseye in Salvador Perez's glove, Ventura just hit it.
Good spot.
And now 3-2.
Very few curves he's thrown tonight. He's been pulling them, and they don't have that 12-6 break. It's more of a lateral move curve so far tonight. He's got to get that on track. He's only thrown a couple curves. He's got an excellent changeup.
Center field, deep. Kane to the ivy. He's got it. Like he's been playing here all year. So the fans get out of their seats, and Lorenzo Cain sits them back down. First pitch of the game, Jake Arrieta, who's a 21-game winner now, and his ERA is under 2. His first pitch was hit into the bleachers in left field by Alcides Escobar, Alex Gordon, and Salvador Perez also homered in that game. The Royals won 8-4. Saturday was a rainout, and then the Cubs beat the Royals in 11 innings in the Sunday game. There's a Salvador Perez home run. Sal against Kyle Hendricks to begin the top of the second inning.
Cutters away to right-handers. That's exactly what Kyle Hendricks likes to do to righties. Change-ups as well. Guy not afraid to empty the tank. You talked about how, he didn't throw a whole lot of innings. He's going to go out there and try to establish all of them. He doesn't have that Yordano Ventura type fastball, so he's going to mix them as he goes.
2-2. Arrieta won last night. He gave up 1 hit in 7 innings. He struck out 9. He also hit a home run. And the Cubs avoided a sweep and beat the Pirates 4-0. That's Hendricks' first strikeout, and there's 1 down in the second inning. Arrieta, Zach Greinke, Clayton Kershaw, the names that keep coming up for the National League Cy Young Award.
Yep, and at the time the Royals beat him, he wasn't exactly considered an ace, but I could see it coming. He has that kind of stuff, no doubt. With John Lester on the team, Lester was the guy at that particular time, but that's how quickly you can mature a baseball player can over the whole course of the season. Arrieta became a beast.
And it looks like the Cubs are headed to a wild card game, and they've already set things up for Arrieta to start that game, not Lester. 1-1 to Alex Rios. I was looking up some numbers. The Cubs got Jake Arrieta in a trade with the Orioles in what looks like a completely lopsided deal, and it is. Caught at third by La Stella, leaving his feet. And there are 2 down in the second inning. But I was looking up Jake Arrieta's numbers with the Baltimore Orioles. In his 4 years with Baltimore, here are his ERAs, HUD. 4.66, 5.05, 6.20, and 7.23. And the Orioles figured, well, he's not going to get any better here. Let's trade him to the Cubs. And of all places, he finds it here.
Yeah, so you really can't blame the Orioles. Those are way too high. ERA for a young and up-and-coming ace, especially. It's interesting how certain players develop at certain times.
Alcides Escobar is batting 8th with the National League rules. Appears to be back on track after hitting .421 against the Mariners and the Indians during the homestand. One and two. Up the middle and into center field. Another good sign for Escobar. Down in the count, just trying to use the middle of the field. And he's on with 2 down. Now Escobar is hitting 6 straight games, and he loves hitting here at Wrigley Field. He's our most trusted player, brought to you by the most trusted brand, Honda.
Watch all these swings. That'll tell you why he's back. See, he's not trying to pull one of them. That's the key. I know we talk about that all season long, but it's a difficult sport, and you get into a groove at some particular time, and then when you fall out, when you try to get back in that groove, you try to pull everything, and that just happens to every hitter. It's just the nature of the business when you play it every single day. It becomes a mind game. Unless you're having a super incredible season where you don't fall into a valley. It really happens. And I'm glad to see Ventura swinging the bat. And, you know, even in a bunting situation tonight, if you're Ned Yost, you can't ask him to bunt. Protect his hands and his fingers from that bat and from that ball hitting.
Not enough time for something like that to heal.
No. So, you know, you can expect Ventura, I would hope, to not square around to bunt tonight.
And a little flare in the batter's box when he takes a pitch, similar to when he's on the mound.
Well, you know his teammates are getting a kick out of this. Anytime an American League pitcher gets to hit in the National League Park, it's always front and center. But he's got some style in him. Watch him get a hold of one.
Still 2-2.
And there they are. Look at Morales. He can't even stay in the dugout. He's entertained so much. A little bit out front on his front foot.
Two strikeouts in the inning for Hendricks. The Royals are at the top of the order. When we get to the 3rd, no score to the bottom of the 2nd. Offensively tonight, presented by Ford. The Royals have done very well against the National League the last 2 years. They have the best record in the major leagues against the National League in the last 2 seasons, and playing very good defense along the way. And they got some good defense in the very first inning tonight.
Yeah, Lorenzo Cain got a little brush with the ivy. That's always fun, as long as you catch it. When that ball gets lost in there, the key is to put your hands up in the air and don't go searching for it. Because if you search for it and then all of a sudden it comes out, that hitter gets 2 extra bases.
This is Tommy La Stella. Joe Madden is going with the hot hand. So La Stella's in there. And he pulls that just foul. Mentioned that Anthony Rizzo, the Cubs first baseman, who's having a very good year. He's been in a little bit of a slump, just 1 for his last 19, so he sits out. Bryant goes to first, and La Stella plays third.
Yeah, and for Bryant, it's his first career start in the majors at first base. Now, one thing defenders are going to have to watch for, the outfielders, is a hazard there. See that mound? That's 10 inches up above the ground. So when you're going for a fly ball over there, it'll sneak up on you. And I've seen a lot of guys go down, and so you got to really be careful of that. Gordon and Rios in particular, 2 corners.
That's hit well to center field again, and it's Cain, this time just to the edge of the ivy. Last 3 outs for the Cubs against Ventura have been hard hit. Coghlan, Bryant, and now La Stella to begin the 2nd inning.
And Lorenzo Cain, he's checking out his surroundings, but at least here at Wrigley Field, the warning track is huge. It's a big warning track, so that gives Lorenzo Cain plenty of time to know where he is on that field.
How about that for walk-up music?
The crowd into it.
The crowd was clapping. Even the Cubs were clapping. They were clapping in the dugout and in the bullpen when Starlin Castro comes up. Castro is playing second base. He was the Cubs shortstop since 2011. Has been shifted over to second with young Addison Russell. And he hits it up the middle. That's where the Royals were playing. And Jolbers throws him out. Time now for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag KCDataStrongFan. You just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. Brought to you by T-Mobile. Hashtag KCDataStrongFan. Now 2 down to Miguel Montero. 0-1.
Well, Ben Zobrist throws everything over the top. He's told me he's not comfortable throwing sidearm. But when you throw over the top, look how much he gets on it and how straight that ball is. You can really trust his throws.
One and one.
The second baseman close to first. Now in the outfield like that, that's a difficult play too. You see how deep he is in right field. On a slow hit ball to Zobrist, he's got to get it and fire it to Hosmer, or the runner will beat it out. So that overhand throw will come in handy there if he gets a ground ball.
Changeup and a foul tip to strike out Montero. Ventura has retired the first 6 Cubs. No score at the end of 2. Non-stop action, heart-pounding excitement, historic performances. Don't miss the 2015 postseason beginning October 6th. Go to MLB.com/postseason for a full schedule. Top of the order, Ben Zobrist leads off tonight and hits a shot to second. Castro makes a good play on a tough hop.
Hey, that's the Novacek family from Kansas City. Glad you're here, folks. Hope you enjoyed and see a Royals win.
Very simple sign, right to the point.
That's right. Right back to you, sir. That youngster helping him hold that sign. That's a big help for Dad.
Zobrist is 0 for 2. Here's Alex Gordon. And that's the first strike that Alex has seen tonight. Hendricks walked him on 4 straight pitches in the first inning. Alex then stole second base. Inside, 1-1. Changeup. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Alex has always done well against the National League, and this year is no exception. He's hit 364 against the National League, over 300 in his career. He didn't mean to do it. Good pitching there by Hendricks to climb the ladder, and he has 3 strikeouts in 2 2/3 innings.
Looks like Hendricks is getting ahead with his fastball, and once again, it's not overpowering, and it looks pretty straight. He's got a little sink to it. That's what he likes to do, ground ball, but Royals can be ready for those early pitches. Not overpowering. Lorenzo Cain hit a nice line drive his first time up on a ball down.
Lined out to the center fielder Fowler. And that's belted to left field. Didn't quite get it. Coughlin makes a play on the track. So 3 times tonight, either a Royal or a Cub has just missed a home run. To the bottom of the 3rd, still no score. Avoid the lines. Order online with rapid pickup at delivery.panerabread.com. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. A warm, muggy night in Chicago. That will change tomorrow. Expecting some rain and high temperatures in the mid-60s, lows in the 50s. And the Royals will be on the south side of Chicago playing the White Sox tomorrow night. Here at Wrigley tonight, no score. Jorge Soler leads off. Cubs right fielder. of the young hitters that Joel Goldberg was talking about. Good young hitters that maybe the Cubs thought would begin to blossom next year or the year after that. Soler, Rizzo, Schwarber, Bryant, Russell. They're loaded. Good pitch, 2-1.
They got some all-around athletes, not like the Royals. Good-looking young players that are finding themselves this year.
On a very good swing in a hitter's count. And Hosmer goes to the bag to get Soler. And Ventura has set down the first 7 Cubs hitters. She is ready to go. Her Royals bow, her Royals shirt. Those look like some Royals themed pajamas. And most importantly, here comes the applesauce.
And even more important than that, they're behind the screen.
Here's the Cubs shortstop, Addison Russell. Late swing and a foul ball.
This young man here has a chance to be a really good Major League Baseball player. One of the reasons I say that is he's a worker. He likes to work. He has a good attitude. He's a team-oriented player.
Ventura tied him up, and Escobar throws him out. The dates are set for Royals Fan Fest next year, presented by Commerce Bank. The dates are Friday, January 29th and Saturday, January 30th at the Kansas City Convention Center. It's a family-friendly event and features player autograph sessions, slugger appearances, Royals merchandise, activities, and much more. Royals.com/fanfest to get those tickets now. Royals fan had a foul ball go zipping over his head. This is Cubs pitcher Kyle Hendricks batting with 2 outs and nobody on. He is 3 for 58 this year. And now it's 1-2. Ventura begins with 3 perfect innings. He has struck out 2. Good start on the mound for both teams. No score and only 1 hit in the first 3 innings.
been a disaster of a year. Our Mazda game break. There's Bryce Harper. He's 22 years old, best player in the National League. He's not running it out. And then Jonathan Papelbon, the veteran closer who oftentimes can stir the pot, he says something. Harper says something back. Papelbon had just said, you got to run that out. And if you read lips, the message back was, let's go. And there you have it. Papelbon has been suspended for 4 games by the team. I even saw that they have pulled his jersey from the team store. Guys, this is really interesting. You got the veteran who has the big personality calling out a superstar who is young for not playing the game hard. And I talked to a bunch of people. We had Johnny Gomes on the pregame show today. He is as old school as you get. And he said on our show, hustle should not be applauded. It should be expected. I polled a bunch of players, coaches, just to see where they stood on this. I didn't need their name or anything, and it was kind of split. I know HUD's got some opinions on this one. One person said Papelbon was 100% right. Another said he was right, but that message should have come from a position player, not a pitcher. Another said that it was the right message, but the timing was wrong. Go and do it so that the public can't see it at all. And then I had another that said, you know what? Papelbon might have been right, but you wouldn't have a hitter go to the mound and tell a pitcher, you shouldn't throw this, you shouldn't throw that. The bottom line is this. A lot of differing opinions. A lot of players respect the old school style, and they want to send that message to a young guy. But when you're not going well and you were supposed to have been going well, these type of things often happen. One of the player guys said to me, you know how you have like that best friend, and even every now and then eventually you get on their nerves, you get on each other's nerves for a little bit. Imagine spending a full season with people you don't necessarily all like. Eventually something's going to happen.
Better believe it happens every summer, Joel. Haas taking a little bit too much there. That was a good pitch to hit. Thought it was inside. But if you're going to be a leader, leaders know when to address certain situations. There was an issue they had earlier, a couple of days before, that when Papelbon threw at Machado's head. Bryce Harper said something in the media about, now that's going to get me drilled, something like that. So whenever that happens, usually players will get together and they'll talk about their issues behind closed doors. But so for Papelbon to do that publicly like that was a mistake on his part. Leaders, and that tells me he's not a real leader. He's like an old school guy. He's got his 10 years in. And he had an issue already at burning in his heart, and then it just came out. The passion and the heat of the battle, that happens. And it's unfortunate, especially when you're losing. There's a fair ball.
And it's into the Royals bullpen, and it bounces out. And Moustakas ends up at second base with 1 out.
Balls get lodged down there, in ballparks that have their bullpens out in the open like this. You'd expect the fielders, the bullpen guys to get up out of the way and not touch that ball because it's in play.
Another thing that happens here and in no other ballpark. There are still some ballparks where the bullpen is off the line, but this one is so close to the line. And then the guys who are sitting on the bench are so close to the bullpen. 0-2 on Salvador Perez. Hendricks struck him out in the second inning. Royals have had 2 hits, and they've reached with 2 walks against Hendricks. The Cubs don't have a base runner yet against Ventura. Salvi lays off the changeup, 1-2.
Likes to throw cutters away up out of the zone, starts them in the middle, and they end up off the plate. Jumps down, no batting gloves for Salvi. Stay inside the ball.
Back with a changeup. Well, he's not afraid to throw it 3 times in a row. There he throws it on back-to-back pitches and strikes out his 5th tonight.
Just a little over aggressive. It's going to have to be a little bit quicker picking up that release point, being a little bit more selective, waiting for your pitch.
Royals go from one strikeout team to another strikeout team. The team with the most in the American League to the most in the National League and the major leagues, and the Cubs are Toyota League leaders for tonight. Rios tries to go the other way and fouls it away. Rios lined out to third in the second inning. A little bit outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Fastball, but even his fastball kind of has a fading changeup type of an action breaking down.
It's a little sinking action, little two-seamer. Coughlin in left field. He's got 9 outfield assists. Fowler has 5 in center and 4 for Soler. So Coughlin's got a pretty good arm for left fielder.
2-2.
Again here, same situation, a runner in scoring position. You can't be too patient. Anything close, try to find that hole any way you can. You don't want to get called out looking. Moose getting a good lead at second base.
Slow roller out to first. Bryant to Hendricks, 2 in the inning. Royals have stranded 4 in the first 4 innings. No score. Service, which allows you to watch every out-of-market game in HD. Live look-ins, pitch tracking, real-time highlights, and more. Every night on every device. Visit MLB.tv for details. No score. And the Cubs are coming up in the bottom of the 4th inning, beginning their second time through. Yordano Ventura retired the first 9 Cubs, and now Dexter Fowler fouls a fastball at 97 away. Ventura struck out 2 first time through, and the Cubs did have some hard hit outs. Lorenzo Cain made a nice play in the ivy in the first inning. 1-1. Two and one on Dexter Fowler. He grounded out to Hosmer in the first inning. to Zobrist. So another hard hit out. Royals defense has been placed very well behind Ventura so far. One down in the 4th inning.
Yep, it's working. Got all the defenders in the right place.
And now one down to Chris Coghlan. Fernando Ventura could not figure out how to get him out back in late May. Coghlan was 3 for 3 against Ventura and drove in the only run against him over 7 innings. And tonight he went right on the nose, but right to Hosmer for a ground out.
And he was the only guy that was hitting Ventura. And I remember there was a situation late in the game, and they didn't have to pitch to him, but they did. And he made him pay.
Ventura in that game went 7 innings, gave up only 4 hits, 3 to Coghlan, and only 1 run, and it was Coghlan who drove that in. Throw him a lot of hard breaking balls this time around, and now 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, looks like Ventura's got a little tighter break to his curve tonight. The real depth, that means he's throwing it harder. Beauty.
Coghlan didn't realize that Perez had dropped it, so down to first, and Giordano has his 3rd strikeout.
Okay, Ventura tightening up that curveball tonight, making it almost a couple of different pitches. Take a little bit off, it has bigger depth to it. And here's the one that's now you see it, now you don't. That's a perfect pitch. That'll freeze any hitter. And here's the strikeout pitch. And to Coghlan's credit, he started walking back, and then he said, no, I'm going to make Salvi throw the ball. This is what you do. If Salvi gooses the throw and throws it over Hosmer's head, it impacts the game. That's another part of play. Just play the game. Run the balls out you should run out, and even ones you shouldn't, you run out.
One on Chris Bryant. He drove Lorenzo Cain into the ivy in the 1st inning.
Looks like that ball fouled off in a couple different places on his body. Shoulder.
One and 2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Chris Young yesterday began his start against the Indians with 5 hitless innings and allowed 1 runner. It was a walk. And now Giordano Ventura is 1 out away from 4 hitless innings.
Keeping his pitch count in a great spot.
Changeup. Bryant strikes out. Ventura has struck out 4. And it's not just 4 hitless innings. It is 4 perfect innings.
Ooh, yeah, he's got that curve working nicely.
Have some fun. Tommy Hotovy pitched briefly for the Royals in 2012. The Park Hill South graduate and Wichita State product. Was in spring training last year with the Cubs guys, and he got hurt again, and he was rehabbing. He went back home, and he took an online class from Boston University for sabermetrics. And the Cubs ended up hiring him this year. He had history with Theo Epstein and Jed Hoyer from back when they took him with the Red Sox at the beginning of his professional career. And he's in a unique role. He is with the team every day. He travels with them. He's around them. It's advanced scouting. Nice play there by Hendricks. What she says that they are calling run prevention. He's in charge of run prevention, and there's another guy that's in charge of run production. This has Joe Madden written all over it. He studies video of the next opponent, and then in each current series, what he ends up doing is briefing the pitching coach, the catching coach, the outfield coach, the infield coach, and he is the guy that is making sure everybody is lined up and kind of linking in those sabermetrics and all the analysis.
Well, an online course for sabermetrics at Boston University for run prevention is a little different than the underwater fire prevention course I took at the University of Minnesota. And there was no work out there for that. I interviewed everywhere you could interview, and those jobs just aren't out there.
You know, it just goes to show you, Tommy Hotovy, and I'm not saying that you're not a nice and kind and friendly guy. Hotovy's got a good personality, and they liked him from the minute they signed him. And, you know, he's a guy who never burned any bridges and always had an upbeat attitude. And that's somehow, some way, how you get in to a business place. Backs off Giordano Ventura here.
Strike three. 6 strikeouts for Kyle Hendricks. And 2 down in the 5th inning. I've brought this up before, but when the Astros were at Kauffman Stadium, I was talking to A.J. Hinch, their manager who played for the Royals. And they were doing all the same things this year that they were doing last year and the year before that, with one exception. They were including the players in on the discussions as to why they were shifting instead of just moving the defense, and the pitchers didn't really understand why, but they were sharing the data with them. They were making them part of the process, and it sounds like the Cubs are taking it a step further and not only sharing the process with them, but the guys who are accumulating the information are traveling with the team and sitting in on the meetings.
Yep, and that's a huge part of their business, communication. You got to talk it out. You share it with these guys, and those veteran bullpen guys from the Houston Astros, they were not for the shift. And then once they explained everything to them, they went, "Oh, now we understand."
7 strikeouts for Kyle Hendricks. He has 5 scoreless innings. Giordano Ventura has 4 perfect innings. perfect innings to begin tonight. Go to DraftKings.com, enter the promo code BRoyal to play daily fantasy baseball for free. Tommy La Stella will lead off. Playing at third base tonight and batting fourth. The line to deep center field in the second inning. Curveball makes it 0-2.
Changeup and curveball combination. It's starting to lead these guys off with some secondary pitches that are really good tonight. That curve's two different kinds. He's got a little one that's a little bit longer and a lot more depth to it. The other one is a tight rotation slider or a curveball.
La Stella, Castro, and Montero. Out to Hosmer. He'll feed Ventura. One down. We mentioned before the end of the last inning that yesterday Chris Young had 5 hitless innings. And then we found out after the game that he had lost his father the night before. And first of all, Chris Young is about as top-notch a human being as you will ever meet. And Ned Yost was sharing before the game today that the Royals gave Chris Young every option to go home and be with his family. We found out on Saturday night. Line to deep center field, and Kane is there for that one. 2 down. And Chris Young said he got a chance to see his father on Monday. The Royals had an off day, and Chris was able to fly back to Dallas and see his dad. So he'd recently seen his father. He knew the end was coming and figured the best way to honor him would be to do what his dad would want him to do. So not only did he pitched 5 hitless innings. He gave up 1 walk and led the Royals to a 3-0 victory over Cleveland.
Yeah, our condolences go out to Chris and his family. But, it's amazing how a guy could deal with his emotions like that, losing your father and then going out and making your father proud. Going out, he looked convicted yesterday. He looked like he had a mission. He was on a mission, and that was to get out, not only get out of the first inning, but to get his team a good start so they could get their 90th win in the last home game of the year. Fantastic job, and because of that, he earned himself another start.
Yeah, and you're right. That wasn't just going out and pitching. That was pitching a game that the Royals needed to win. So 2 down to Miguel Montero. Ventura struck him out in the second inning. Montero pounds it off the plate foul. Royals are starting to play better, getting out of the slump through most of September. The Royals are 10-15 in September, but they've won 3 of their last 5 and starting to get good pitching performances. Chris Young only went 5 yesterday because he hadn't pitched as a starter in almost 2 months. Otherwise, he could have gone 6, maybe 7. But the Royals are starting to pile up the quality starts again. 3-2 on Montero.
It's all going to come from the mound from here on out. They'd like to be able to pad their lead and hold on and somehow overtake Toronto for the home field advantage. But starting pitching is going to get figured out here this week. It'd be nice if all of them could have a good, solid start.
5 perfect innings. And at the end of 5, no score. continues to be your home for postseason action with the American League Division and Championship Series. Don't miss a moment of the drama and history. It all begins October 8th on FS1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. So here are the so-called brackets. As of today, it would be the Yankees and the Astros in the wild card game. Winner playing the Blue Jays. The Royals would be at home against Texas. St. Louis would play the winner of Pittsburgh and Chicago, and it would be the Mets and the Dodgers in the other division series. Alex Gordon leads off. Royals have 2 hits, and they've walked twice against Kyle Hendricks, but Hendricks has struck out 7. Our Sonic Slam inning contestant is Shane Hawkins from Kansas City, Missouri. And if the Royals hit a home run in this inning, Shane wins $1,600. If the Royals hit a grand slam out of the park, Shane wins $25,000 from Sonic and the Kansas City Royals. Inside, 1-1 to Alex.
Royals need to pop one out of the ballpark off of Hendricks, but he's been doing a great job tonight of mixing in the fastball, changeup, keeping it down. Didn't give one there, but let's show you the splits against righties and lefties. He's given up 17 home runs, most of them coming against the lefties. Changeup has been put exactly where he's wanted. He hasn't made any mistakes with that.
And got him thinking changeup and threw him a fastball. That is 8 strikeouts in 5 1/3 innings.
Now, it's hard to figure. That's a good pitch to hit. It's on the inner half. Alex loves him in there. So obviously, like you said, he was thinking. He's just above the knees.
Kane has had 2 good swings. He is lined to center and flied out to deep left. One and one. We saw a little bit of this almost a week ago at Kauffman Stadium when the Royals faced Hisashi Iwakuma. His slider and splitter were so good that he had the Royals thinking about that pitch, and he slipped a lot of fastballs in for strikes without swings for most of the night. Kane was reaching and off balance and flies out to Coughlin in left field. And there are 2 down. Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard. Here are the Cubs' National League ranks since September 1st. And this is a pretty good formula. Here's how you get the second best record. They have scored the 3rd most runs per game, and they have the best ERA.
And this time of year will get you a playoff spot when you play like that.
Hosmer takes down and away. He has walked, and he has struck out looking. That was a changeup, 1-1. So what do you do? Do you sit on a changeup? I mean, he hasn't thrown very many for strikes, or do you just hold out for your fastball?
Yeah, you might want to make an adjustment, move up towards the pitcher a little bit, and look down and right out over the plate. That or you spit on it. Lorenzo Cain looked like to me he was taking those changeups. Really, that's not the pitch you want. You want that 88-mile-an-hour sinking fastball is what you want.
9 strikeouts and 6 scoreless innings for Kyle Hendricks. Rally House. Big time pitchers duel tonight. Yordano Ventura and Kyle Hendricks. Ventura has opened with 5 perfect innings. Hendricks 6 scoreless innings, and he's tied his career high with 9 strikeouts. Jorge Soler leads off and takes a breaking ball inside. So we've only seen 2 hits and 4 total base runners in the first 5.5 innings. Soler grounded out to first. The Cubs have kept Eric Hosmer busy. It's Trevor Cahill, the former Oakland A's and Arizona Diamondbacks starter, pitching out of the Cubs bullpen. Broken bat up the middle, past Zobrist, and the Cubs have their first runner. The old manual scoreboard and icon at Wrigley Field.
It wasn't a bad spot either. That ball was down in a way. Fastball. Soler just hit it right back up the middle. Ventura's a good fielding pitcher. He just missed it.
Here we are, bottom of the 6th inning, and only 3 combined hits. Addison Russell. Let's see if Joe Madden has him bunt. Instead, he takes inside. Well, this might be the best thing for the Royals, because there's Kyle Schwarber to hit for Kyle Hendricks, who has struck out 9 in the first 6 innings. So this might be a way to get him out of the game. Russell grounded to short his first time up. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Ventura wouldn't mind him do the same thing here. Miss that bat. Giordano has induced 9 ground ball double plays this season.
Russell only has 1 sacrifice bunt all year. And he bunts in the air. Ventura can't play it, but he gets down to second base and gets a lead runner. Heads up play by Yordano Ventura.
No, he's a very good fielding pitcher. He's athletic. I mean, this play here, he didn't panic, although he had a lot more time. He picks it up, realizing nobody was at first base, alertly looking ahead to the play. Soler had to freeze, he wasn't sure. And showing some athleticism. Haas was pointing to first base, and Ventura said, hey, I'll take the easy out. Hey, help yourself.
And even with the failed sacrifice bunt, Joe Madden's still going to send Kyle Schwarber to the plate. Kyle Schwarber was the Cubs' first-round pick just last year. He has hit 16 home runs in 63 games and driven in 43. Product of the University of Indiana. Breaking ball for a strike.
Schwarber, another rookie, 0 for 8 as a pinch hitter. Russell at first base has only ripped off a couple of bags all year. It's been caught 3 times.
Fastball a little bit high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Just looks like a hitter, doesn't he?
Sure does. Has that look. You know, he loves to pull it. Big time power. He's looking for something in.
Good swing at a fastball. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Only played baseball at the University of Indiana, but the Indiana football program tried to convince him to play both sports. He was a very good middle linebacker, and he also looks like a middle linebacker. Great block by Salvador Perez, keeping Russell at first base. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Again, Salvador not closing his glove on it. Doesn't want to catch it. He'd rather pick the ball up off the ground and throw a guy out.
Russell gets a little bigger lead. Not running. And Schwarber fouls it away. It was a changeup, and that pitch did not get down the way Ventura and Perez wanted it to.
It was away.
Close. Ball into left field. Alex is there. Schwarber is out, and there are 2 down. I was just thinking as I was watching Hosmer following that second throw to first base. If you asked Eric to list the pitchers that he prefers to throw over to first base, I would bet Ventura is not on the top of that list.
No, because he throws so hard, and he has to really brace himself over there to catch it. He's not worried about the catch and tag as much as he is just keeping it from getting by him. I agree with you.
And now Dexter Fowler. Good breaking ball. That's about as good a breaking ball as Ventura's had in a while. Consistently good breaking ball.
I agree.
Fowler is grounded out to first and lined out to second. As promised earlier in the game, we have selected the Data Strong fan photo of the game. Tweet your strongest fan photo to hashtag KC Data Strong Fan for a chance to have it featured in an upcoming broadcast. Hey, look at that.
Ben, I believe you could have found somebody else to take a better picture with you, but that's kind of pumping me up. Way to go, bud.
Brought to you by T-Mobile. Where was that? Was that here tonight?
I don't think that was. Is it possible to get it on our broadcast that quickly?
Send it in. Send it in quickly. Changeup fades outside. 2-2 on Fowler. He has the most experience of any Cubs hitter against Ventura. He is Senior Dono. When Fowler played for the Astros, he has 10 at bats now, including his 2 tonight. Fastball got him looking. Cubs get their first hit, but Ventura has 6 shutout innings. He has struck out 5. There's been only 1 extra base hit all night tonight, and that was Mike Moustakas' double in the 4th inning. He'll lead off the 7th. Royals baseball is brought to you by AT&T Uverse high-speed internet. The Uverse revolves around you. Call 1-800-PIC-ATT. By your Midwest Ford dealers. Visit your MidwestFordDealers.com. And by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price every day. Matt Schwarber stays in the game in left field. And Chris Coghlan goes from left field to first base. Trevor Cahill takes over on the mound. And pitching mostly out of the bullpen this year. Former starter for the A's and the Diamondbacks.
Low 90s to mid 90s fastball. Slider, curve, and a changeup. Tries to sink it.
Into center field, and it'll be fielded by Chris Bryant. So all those moves. Schwarber to left, Coghlan to first, and Bryant moves out to center field. How many guys who are typically a third baseman can also play center field?
This kid's young and athletic, and Joe Madden, he loves players like that are versatile. Take a look at Ben Zobrist. That's one of Joe Madden's projects. And he had him with the Rays for all those years.
Mike Moustakas is 2 for 3. Salvador Perez grounds it right to second. Castro to Russell to Coghlan. 2 down. Here's our University of Kansas Hospital injury report. And bad news for the Angels. They have lost Houston Street, their closer, with a grade 1 groin strain. The Angels are 3 games out in the West, and they're just a half game out in the wild card race, and now without their closer.
Grade 1 sounds pretty serious. What was Alex's? Grade 2? 2 plus?
If you're a male, there is no such thing as a mild groin strain. I don't care 1, 2, 2 plus.
I hear you. The way he went down, by looking at him, it looked like it was pretty serious.
The Angels are at home tonight against Oakland. 1-2 on Rios.
It's good to get Kyle Hendricks out of there. Now, we talked about how limited pitch count and innings that he's thrown so far this year. So I would imagine that Joe Madden told Cahill before the game he would be the first guy up.
Royals have struck out 10 times tonight against Cubs pitching. tonight. The Royals' last regular season game is Sunday, but Fox Sports Kansas City will have you covered during the postseason. The Boulevard Royals Live postgame show will be on Fox Sports Kansas City after every playoff game. Joel, Monty, Rex, and I will break down the games. For home games, we'll be at Kauffman Stadium when the Royals are on the road. The show will be anchored from the Power and Light District. So it's the postseason coverage you'd expect from your home of the Royals, Fox Sports Kansas City.
Oh, yeah, I'm getting goosebumps just having an opportunity to be at the Power and Light District again with those rabid Royals fans. Oh, it's going to be great.
Giordano Ventura opened with 5 perfect innings. He has only allowed 1 base runner. And that was a broken bat ground ball base hit by Jorge Soler leading off the 6th inning. In this inning, it's Coghlan, the number 2 hitter, then Bryant and LaStella. Fouled away, 2 balls and 1 strike on Coghlan. He was grounded to Hosmer. And he is struck out. Hosmer has handled 5 ground balls already tonight. Getting the left-hand batters to roll over. Two and 2.
Oh, you only get a chance once. Grab it, hurry. Oh. The ball that got away.
And that was a C on his shirt, not a KC.
That's right.
Check swing, close. 3 and 2. Chris Coghlan, 2009 National League Rookie of the Year with the Marlins. Resurrected his career last year with the Cubs. As quickly as it began for Coghlan, it seemed to come to an end as quickly, but found a home here. And he's hit well lately. And he's done very well against the American League. So Joe Madden, as I told you, he loves flexible players. He liked to mix and match like a National League manager when he was managing Tampa Bay. So this league is a perfect fit for his style. Leadoff walk. And the only walk so far allowed by Ventura.
Giordano Ventura, extremely impressive tonight with his command of all 3 of his pitches and his tempo. His tempo's been good. He's been able to harness his energy, which is so important for him. Something to work out of this.
Below the knees. Chris Bryant hit one to the ivy in center field in the 1st inning. Lorenzo Cain made the play. And then Ventura struck him out with a changeup in the 4th. Ventura has only thrown 82 pitches.
He's only grounded into 7 double plays this year, and I'm not surprised with that inside-out swing of his.
Strike at the knees over the outside. No more than 17 pitches in any inning tonight for Giordano Ventura.
Take a picture of that performance, folks. That's a good Ventura there. Consistent.
Good pitch there too. Fastball down. That's about the only thing that Bryant could do is hit it on the ground. Ventura wants to chat with Salvador Perez. That could mean something, that could mean nothing with the tight spaces in the bullpen. Some guys just might want to get up and stand up and stay loose. Outside at 97, 2 and 2. Kris Bryant has 99 RBIs. His 26 home runs are the most ever by a Cubs rookie, breaking the record of Billy Williams back in 1961. On the ground, Moustakas is going to have to hurry. Bryant moves well. Out at first base. The Cubs want to challenge Brandon Hyde, the first base coach, about as emphatic as you can be, pointing to the third base dugout and asking for a replay review. And Joe Madden right away says, put the headsets on. The first base umpire was Tony Randazzo, and he and the crew chief Jerry Davis will go to the headsets.
Well, Moustakas did all he could do. That's a heck of a play. I wasn't sure he was going to be able to even pick it up barehanded. But that's one nice opportunity here. It looks like he beat it. Haas did a nice job of trying to sell it, pulling that foot just a little early. I mean, it's amazing the knack that those first basemen have to catch and pull their foot off at the same time. Bryant, an athlete that's extremely blessed with power and speed. Didn't take long.
So the leadoff walk, followed by the infield single. It's easy to say that it's just bad fortune, the infield single by Bryant, but the leadoff walk set it up, and now 2 on, nobody out.
Royals might be expecting a bunt here, but Stella checking out his third base coach.
Not often you expect a sacrifice bunt from a number 4 hitter. And Stella is not bunting. He does not have a sacrifice bunt this year.
Well, if he's not comfortable, it's not an enviable spot to try to bunt a guy that throws upper 90s. Almost having a better chance of swinging the bat. I think that's what Madden's going to let him do here.
Strike on the corner, 1-1.
Beautiful changeup.
This is their first opportunity all night with runners in scoring position. And hitting just .236 in these spots this season. Timeout called. Ventura was paying a lot of attention to Coghlan, the runner at second base.
Well, now's the time of the game that Ventura doesn't want to get distracted by the runners. The hitter's the one that's going to do the damage. Let Salvi take care of the runners.
Ground ball to Zobrist. Out at second. Double play. 2 down. Coghlan goes to third.
There it is. Right when you needed it. 10th ground ball double play induced by Ventura this season. Came in a great time. And you know, that's what you stay away from when you try to bunt. You know, you bunt the guy, you stay away from that, but Madden elected to let him swing. Zobrist with a nice little backhand flip. Easy feed, easy double play.
Joins in on the clapping for Starlin Castro. The fans, the players in the dugout. Is that Manny Ramirez? It is. He was a minor league coach for the Cubs this year. In the dirt. Castro is grounded to second and lined out to deep center.
Defense fundamentally sound. Look at him follow this feed. Just like Hosmer followed it. Zobrist, after he flipped it, he took 3 or 4 steps toward his target to make sure it stayed straight. Fundamentally sound. He's got to making those plays again. Good to see the defense. Ooh.
Good swing by Castro. Two and two. Well, things were looking good for a while. Baltimore led Toronto 3-1 going into the 8th inning. Baltimore scored 2 in the 8th and 1 in the 9th. The Orioles, or rather the Blue Jays, the Royals, and the Cubs all have the same record, had the same record, and now Toronto has won 91. Swing and a miss. Castro strikes out. Ventura buckles down after the Cubs had runners at first and second and nobody out. He gets a double play and a strikeout.
Excellent job to induce the ground ball double play. That was huge. And then that breaking ball just fooled Castro. He thought a fastball was coming. He got to go.
Takes us around the league. Toronto comes back to win. Minnesota doubling up Cleveland right now. Corey Kluber becomes the first right-handed Indians pitcher with back-to-back 500 strikeout seasons since Bob Feller, 1940 and 41. Detroit winning. St. Louis and Pittsburgh scoreless. Our Mazda game break takes us to Baltimore. Buck Showalter, his team, yep, they fall apart late in this one. Edwin Encarnacion ties the game. That's 2 runs in the 8th. They add 1 more in the 9th to win it. And in this breaking development, they didn't actually win it on a Josh Donaldson home run. It still counts the same. They won. Coming up on Boulevard Royals Live, we'll talk about Yordano Ventura and his brilliant night on the mound. Someone is going to score at some point. We'll discuss that here from Ned Yost and much more coming up on Boulevard Royals Live with Jeff Montgomery.
All right, Joe, there's Kendrys Morales. He's going to bat for Yordano Ventura. This is Trevor Cahill's second inning. Kyle Hendricks went the first 6 and gave up just 2 hits, no runs. Cahill pitched a scoreless 7th. Gave up a leadoff single to Moustakas, and they got Perez to ground into a double play. So Escobar, Morales, and Zobrist in the 8th. Two and two.
One heck of a job by Yordano Ventura tonight.
Kendricks, you hurt? Look good, Kendricks.
At a great tempo. All 3 pitches were
Just foul. with a changeup. He has 11 strikeouts tonight. The Royals hitters against Cubs pitchers. Now the Cubs do lead the major leagues in strikeouts. Most of the strikeouts have been on pitches like that, a changeup.
Yeah, it's been filthy, and I can guarantee you the rest of this week and into the playoffs, the Royals are going to see a lot of off-speed pitches in the playoffs.
Morales, in his career, hits .235 as a pinch hitter. This year, he is 1 for 5 with a walk. And Cubs pitching coach Chris Bosio is going to go out and have a chat with Cahill. There was some discussion a few weeks ago about using Kendrys Morales in right field for this game. He was taking fly balls during a Royals road trip, and the Royals were surprised at how comfortable he was in the outfield. And he has played a little bit of outfield, played a lot of outfield in Cuba, and there was some talk about this game being a game to get him out there and see how comfortable he is in the event that the Royals get into the World Series. And in the National League parks, I want to find a way to get Morales and Hosmer in the same lineup.
It's a great idea. I thought we might see it had Morales not hit by a pitch on his shin, on his right leg. We might have seen him out there. 1 for 5 as a pinch hitter for Ned this year.
Hit the front part of the mound and shot up, and Castro was right there. So good scouting by the Cubs on Morales, or make that Russell was right there. 2 down.
Well, hit it hard, that's all you can do. And that nice little candy hop for him made it a little bit easier.
Down to Zobrist. Jumps on a first pitch curveball and fouls it away. And is 0 for 3 tonight. Those at bats against Kyle Hendricks.
Cahill's got great stuff tonight. His changeup's moving away from lefties, down into righties. His fastball's got some good sink. He's mixing in some curveballs.
Changeup. As the Cubs approach against the Royals tonight, and it's worked. No score to the bottom of the 8th. done for the night. Here are the sprint cuts against him in his 7 scoreless innings.
Yeah, there's a few balls that were hit hard, but the defenders were on top of their game tonight for Ventura. Excellent stuff. Change-up, curveball. They've all worked for him. His fastball, of course, set those pitches up. Hosmer was busy tonight. Ventura makes a nice play for himself here. He did exactly what Ned Yost wanted to do. Keep his team in the game. Use that defense. 10th ground ball double play on the season. And a big strikeout there to end his night.
Kelvin Herrera at the bottom of the 8th. The Cubs are going to see much of the same. They saw the heat from Ventura. They're going to get the same from Herrera.
Except for that changeup. That's the only thing different. Giordano has the changeup and the curve. Fastball, changeup, occasional sliders. Herrera will throw.
It's the 3rd time that Herrera has pitched in the 8th inning since the Royals announced that Greg Holland was done for the year. And in his first 2 8-inning appearances, he had scoreless innings. Into left field and right to Alex Gordon. There is 1 down, and Montero is 0 for 3. And now Soler. He was the first base runner against Ventura in the 6th inning. Giordano began with 5 perfect innings. And then Soler had a little crackback grounder into center field. In the 7th inning, Chris Bryant had an infield single. Those are the only 2 hits against Giordano over 7 innings. Big swing. 99-mile-an-hour fastball, 0-1.
And he generated some bat speed on that swing. It's all about generating the bat speed from just a short little foot out over that plate there. It's not the long swing. It's the bat speed you can get on contact. Short, quick, compact.
Popped up. Escobar wants it. He's got it. 2 down. And now Addison Russell. They're showing you some of the highlights for Giordano Ventura. He tried to put down a sacrifice bunt in the 6th inning and popped it up. And the Royals weren't able to catch it, but Ventura realized where the runner was at first and had a heads-up play and was able to get the force at second base. Took some of the steam out of that inning for the Cubs. Two 2-0. When the Royals were here at the end of May in Game 1 of that series, Russell homered against Kelvin Herrera, and then the Royals rallied late and won that game. This time he shatters his bat. And we go to the 9th inning in a scoreless tie. sends you or your father a text, and you can check off number 4. And hopefully at some point tonight we'll be checking off number 5.
There you go, Noah. Glad you could make it.
Changes for the Cubs. Austin Jackson moves into center field. And Clayton Richard is the new pitcher. I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute, where's Chris Bryant? He's not at third. He's not at first. I'm going to take Chris Bryant. Oh, man. He's in right field.
Wouldn't you know it?
Alex Gordon leads off against Clayton Richard. Kyle Hendricks pitched 6 innings, struck out 9 for the Cubs. Trevor Cahill pitched 2 innings and struck out 3. Down and away. Alex is 0 for 2 tonight. He walked in the first inning, and he has struck out twice.
Fastball, slider, changeup from Richard.
Shallow left field. And Schwarber is out there to make the play.
Joe Madden says, all right, thank you for getting Gordon out.
Clayton Richard to face one batter, Alex Gordon, and now he brings on his closer, Hector Rondon, who has saved 28 for Chicago, and he has Lorenzo Cain followed by Eric Hosmer.
He's got a lively sinking fastball, 90 to 96, good hard slider, good command with that pitch. He's an effective changeup at times. Mainly fastball, slider. Another strikeout pitcher.
First pitch fastball, and instead he got a slider down. 0 for 3, but Cain has lined to center and flied out to deep left.
Let's go, Cain!
Everybody knows that Royals offense feasts on fastballs and be very selective. If you select a time, it's getting into a real here.
Safe. The Cubs have used a challenge. The call went their way, so they still have their challenge. But it doesn't look like they're going to take another look.
Great try by Addison Russell, no doubt about it. This is a wonderful play in the hole as he got on top, but Lorenzo Cain too quick, beat it out.
There really have been no rallies tonight. In fact, only one time tonight have the Royals had more than one runner in one inning. And the Cubs have only had one inning with more than one runner. Royals fans are starting to take over Wrigley Field.
I knew it would happen tonight just by seeing all these Royal fans that are here, not only just for this game, but also on the south side for the next 3.
Hosmer. That's good luck for the Cubs with the first baseman Coghlan holding Cain. That thing hopped over his head, very close to being an extra base hit up the line.
Wouldn't that have been nice? So with Hector Rondon, it's good command with his slider. Like Cain, Hosmer's not going to see a lot of fastballs either.
Next stolen base will be his 29th, and that'll be a new career high. Inside. 2-1. Not a whole lot of this tonight. Catchers going out to the mound. Pitching coaches going out to the mound. We're in the top of the 9th inning. And the two teams have combined for 6 hits. The Cubs have 2 and the Royals have 4.
By looking at Lorenzo's leads at first base, they're not very big. It tells me he's not too anxious to steal a base.
And flinching out at first. You know, I was just going to say, his lead was a little bigger, so maybe with the pitches before that, he was trying to convince Rondon he wasn't going anywhere.
Yep, sometimes that works, but unfortunately, that last little open step he took before the throw over got him out.
Still a hitter's count for Hosmer. 2-2.
Yeah, just that little turn to go is costing.
Into left field. Schwarber is there, and he will lead off the bottom of the 9th inning. Tonight's copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Kansas City Royals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Kansas City Royals Baseball Corporation. Boy, it sure doesn't feel like September the 28th at all. It is warm and muggy. But it could easily be 40 degrees and windy. So we'll take this. Luke Hochevar will pitch the bottom of the ninth. Kyle Schwarber. Then the pitcher spot, and then Chris Coghlan. And the pitcher spot was occupied by Austin Jackson in the top half of the ninth inning. So Schwarber, Jackson, and Coghlan. Schwarber has batted once, and he flied out to left field against Yordano Ventura.
Schwarber not convinced that curve was a strike. Coach doesn't want to leave it up there.
Good fastball cutting in on his hands. 0-2.
Yep, he likes that cutter. He'll throw the cutter in the low 90s. He'll go 96, 97 with his four-seam fastball, overhand curve.
Cubs didn't get a base runner until the 6th inning when Soler singled against Ventura. They had 2 runners in the 7th with a walk and a single. They've only had 1 runner beyond first base all night. Down he goes. Good start for Hochevar as Schwarber strikes out, 1 away.
Yeah, Hochevar just challenged him right there and blew it by him.
Austin Jackson. Those have seen a lot of him from his days with the Tigers. Fouled off of Salvi's mask. Jackson has struggled in a part-time role here with the Cubs. He's played in 22 games. And he's hit 196. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. He has done well against Hochevar, and he's seen a lot of Hochevar. Playing in the same division as Luke for several years. Ball. Boy, that pitch has just been wicked for Hochevar lately.
Yeah, and that's where he wants to leave that. Only threw Schwarber for the first pitch strike was belt high.
And now 3 balls, 1 strike. Chris Coghlan.
Make Jackson earn it. Don't give him a free pass. He can run.
Challenge him at 95. 3-2. That got home plate umpire Phil Cuzzy, who tells Salvador Perez he's fine.
Good location. That ball was running in.
Sure he didn't break his pen. Three and 2 with 1 out. He'll be back into the crowd. Royals, when the game is over, they'll get on a bus and they'll take about a 10-minute drive to the hotel and get ready for the series with the White Sox tomorrow. The Cubs will get on an airplane and they will go to Cincinnati. field. Kane is there. Jackson couldn't hit it any harder. Lorenzo Kane and Eric Hosmer have been the busiest on defense for the Royals tonight. 2 down in the bottom of the 9th. Johnny Cueto and Jeff Samardzija tomorrow night. Edinson Volquez, Jose Quintana Wednesday night. Chris Medlin and John Danks on Thursday, and then to Minnesota Friday night, Saturday afternoon, Sunday afternoon, and then the curtain comes down on the regular season. 2 down to Chris Coghlan. Coghlan grounded out, struck out, and walked against Giordano Ventura.
Kind of like how Hoche was going at these Cubs. He's mixing them up, but he ends up using that fastball and getting results.
And with every out and every pitch, it takes some of the sting out of losing Greg Holland for the rest of the year. Royals got it done last year without Luke Hochevar. Now they have him back, and hopefully have him back at the top of his game at this point, because the Royals got it done with Greg Holland, and that will not happen this year. Just low.
Wow. Where was that? That split the dish in half.
Still 1-2.
A little better swing by Coghlan. He stayed inside of that, trying to shoot it to the opposite field.
Royals pitching has thrown 9 scoreless innings. So is Cubs pitching. So we go to the 10th. It'll be Moustakas, Perez, and Rios. Innings presented by Jack Link's. Jack Link's beef jerky. All season long. Feed your wild side. No score to the top of the 10th inning. The Royals have 4 hits. The Cubs have 2 hits. Both teams have winning records. in extra innings. The Cubs have played 3 more extra inning games than the Royals, but the Royals 9-5. The Cubs are 12-5. It'll be Mike Moustakas, Salvador Perez, and Alex Rios against Pedro Strop.
Pedro Strop, 90-95 with his fastball, slider, occasional split fingers, and he will mix in a quick pitch every so often.
Mike Moustakas is the only hitter tonight with more than 1 hit. 4 balls, 2 strikes.
Again, another reliever coming in, not going with his bread and butter. He's mixing in his slider early, not giving him fastballs.
Perez, he can't get you out.
Still 0-2.
Notice how quickly Strop winds up and gets that ball in there. That's his form of a quick pitch there.
You got Salve. Oh, he's looking over. He's scared.
And fouled away again.
He's got a couple of different variations to his delivery.
Well into right center field, but Jackson comes over and makes a play. When the Royals won their game here at Wrigley Field on May the 29th, the losing pitcher was Strop. He gave up 3 runs. Only 1 run was earned, but 3 runs in a third of an inning. And now the Royals are trying to rally against him in the 10th inning tonight. 1 out to Salvador Perez. Tough night. He is grounded into a double play and struck out twice. And a breaking ball is in for a strike. That game, the Cubs defense just fell to pieces in the later innings. A quick pitch, and it's low. The Royals and the Cubs were tied at 4-4 at the end of 7. The Royals scored 4 runs late, and 1 run was earned.
Seemed like he was able to get that fastball by Salvi with no problem there. He might think he can come back with another one.
He now takes low. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Cubs have used Hendricks for 6, Cahill for 2, Richard 1/3 of an inning, Rondon 2/3 of an inning, and now Strop. Line foul into the crowd. Strikeouts for Cubs pitchers tonight.
Yep, went right back to it when he got by him earlier in the count. Same pitch down the middle. All you got to do is tease him with that slider a little bit, throw a couple of quick pitches, mix up your delivery, makes this guy effective.
Could be part of a trivia question. Pedro Strop. He came over with Jake Arrieta in that trade with the Baltimore Orioles. Steve Clevenger and Scott Feldman went to the Orioles from the Cubs. Clevenger is still there. Feldman is now pitching with Houston, and he's been shut down for the year with a shoulder problem. So that was a landslide deal for the Chicago Cubs. 2-1 on Rios. He is 0 for 3 so far tonight.
Slider backed up. That's the one Rios. Need to look for that one. That mistake. See if he can shoot one out of here.
And they call it a swing. Basically the same pitch.
Rios saw it the first time. He liked it, but he just couldn't decide what he wanted to do there.
Barely able to make contact.
What he said.
Full count. Escobar is on deck. Escobar is 1 for 3. 40,552. And Rios takes a 2-out walk.
Rios is another one of those Royals that are hard to walk. That's his 14th on the season. See if they can make it hurt here.
Swung on and missed. Christian Colon has moved to the on-deck area as the pitcher spot follows Escobar, and that'd be Luke Hochevar. Chop to third. La Stella goes to second, and we head to the bottom of the 10th inning. Inning, and he'll get the meat of the order. Chris Bryant, Tommy La Stella, and Starlin Castro. He is making his 66th appearance. He pitched a scoreless 7th inning yesterday against the Indians in the 3-0 win. And Madsen has been back on track after experiencing some soreness in his shoulder in his last 9 appearances. He has allowed just 3 hits. So Chris Bryant will lead off against Madsen. Madsen follows Ventura, Herrera, and Hochevar, who combined to throw 9 scoreless innings. For Ventura, he had 7 of the 9. Ventura only allowed 2 hits, one of which was an infield single to Chris Bryant. That's all the Cubs have tonight, 2 hits. A broken bat ground ball into center field and an infield hit.
I don't remember an extra inning game like this one with no score.
Right at him with a fastball at 95.
Madsen with an excellent changeup he has in his back pocket. He'll throw that at any time to any hitter. He likes to cut the fastball in the low 90s. That one first pitch was a good four-seamer right by Bryant's bat.
Just me, or is Salvador Perez, ever since the conversation and the adjustment with Johnny Cueto, is now trying to give all of his pitchers a very low target?
Yeah, I think I've noticed that too, that he's been getting on one knee quite regularly.
Strikes.
And it's a great visual because that's exactly what you want. And he's not sitting down the middle either. Certain pitchers with really good stuff to the east and west movement will want a catcher to set up down the middle. But Salvi able to sit on each corner with his glove down gives them that target where it's a realistic target. That's where he wants it. He knows from being a hitter, he's saying, all right, bounce one.
Seen some excellent changeups tonight from both teams.
Salvi made no beef about it. He said, I want it down, and that's what you do. You elevate that changeup. That's a different story to a hitter like this. You hit it out of the park and in the game.
Change up for a strike to La Stella.
Same arm speed as the fastball, but he holds the ball back in his fingers and makes it change to a slower speed. Receptive. Impressive.
And then a cutting fastball is inside to La Stella. He's 0 for 3. And that double play in the 7th inning. That was the biggest play for the Royals on defense tonight. And his changeup is on tonight. The Royals in the first inning had 2 on with 2 out. It's the only inning they've had 2 base runners. The Cubs in the 7th inning had 2 on and nobody out. And then the big matchup, Herrera and La Stella. And Herrera got La Stella to ground into a double play. Castro struck out. That was the last time the Cubs had a runner. Madsen, one changeup after another. He has back-to-back strikeouts and 2 down in the 10th inning.
He could throw it every single pitch. That changeup down in that direction there, and he probably could be successful with it. But what makes it even better is his above-average fastball.
So 2 down to Castro. Fastball missed high. Castro is 0 for 3. One of his outs was a line out to deep center. Side and a base hit. Castro, the potential winning run, is on with 2 outs. And now they're going to run for him. Quentin Berry, who spent some time in the Royals farm system, He's also been in the big leagues with the Tigers. And he was with the Orioles last year during the American League Championship Series.
He's their Gerard Dyson or Terrence Gore.
And now the catcher, Miguel Montero.
He's looking to do one thing, Barry, and that's to steal.
Yeah, he's flinching over there. He wants to go, and that caught Madsen's attention.
You know, it wouldn't be a bad call to pitch out on the first pitch here, just in case he is trying to get that jump. Then leave Montero leading off next inning.
For the rest of my life, when I think of Quintin Berry, if I ever think of Quintin Berry, I'm going to think of an exchange he had with Gerard Dyson during the American League Championship Series. Berry was getting on Dyson because Dyson had been caught stealing twice in that ALCS. And remember, Dyson in the playoffs shaved in the side of his head the word Vroom. VROOM. And so they were trash talking around the batting cage when the series came back to Kansas City, and Quintin Berry had an audience of Orioles, and he said, "Hey, Dyson, you're going to have to shave that Vroom out of your head, man. We've thrown you out a couple of times." And without missing a beat, Dyson said, "You're right. I'll shave out the Vroom and I'll put in Broom."
That's the best line of the
whole series. Shot him down, and sure enough, the Royals swept the series. Got a high strike. And now 0-2 on Montero.
Salvi getting an extra peek over there at Berry. Right when that pitch was on the way, coming just to see if he's got a jump. Madsen has Montero set up for the changeup.
Not a bad idea. So now you have a hitter thinking this guy's got a great changeup. He also throw in the mid-90s, and he almost took my helmet off.
Yep. Can't be leaning out over. He likes to put that changeup on the outer half. On Montero thinking he can go get it. Now he's going to hold and pick him off. Or try to.
Almost.
Good move by Ryan Madsen. Hosmer's taking a little bit of time. I think Ned wants to see if he can get a little sign that they got it.
Get him, Ned! Get him, Ned! Come on, Ned!
And that was Salvador Perez's suggestion. He made, instead of putting down fingers for a sign, he flicked his thumb like a kid rolling marbles, and that's the sign to throw over to first base.
Very close. Quintin Berry, he jumped out of his shoes right before Madsen stepped off, trying to get an extra jump. Here comes the changeup.
Berry is not running. Down goes Montero, and down go the Cubs. Madsen strikes out the side. And after the Broom, Dyson hoisted one in the hair. Take that, Barry. Highlights are sponsored by Jack Link's Beef Jerky. Jack Link's Beef Jerky, feed your wild side. Quentin Berry is now in center field. He ran for Castro. Castro, the Cubs' second baseman. Chris Bryant, he's been all over the place. He's on his way to playing all 9 positions tonight. He has played at first base, center field, right field, and now back to his normal position. Fernando Rodney takes over on the mound. Austin Jackson goes to right, and Tommy LaStella, who had been at third, he goes to second.
Joe Maddon's very creative with his lineup, and he could mix and match. Rodney coming in now, fastball, great changeup. He's got an occasional slider.
Christian Colon is pinch hitting for Ryan Madsen. Colon, Zobrist, and Gordon in the 11th inning. The mystery that is Fernando Rodney. He either has his managers pulling their hair out of their head or just dominating the league. Change up, and he jumps ahead, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Yeah, and he loves this changeup. That's 2 consecutive changes in a row to Colon.
On Colon. Rodney 3 seasons ago saved 48 games for Joe Maddon in the Tampa Bay Rays. Colon strikes out on a changeup. One down in the 11th inning.
He only threw 1 fastball in 5 pitches.
Royals have struck out 14 times tonight. And now Zobrist, he's had a pair of strikeouts. Overall 0 for 4. Facing his former teammate. He can still pop the glove at 96.
Yep, Colon was out in front of it. It was elevated, but the change of speed got him. Even after 4 straight. A little bit more careful with that changeup against Zobrist. If he makes a mistake with that, Zobrist, he can hit it out of the ballpark. Again, picking a night where there's no wind at all at Wrigley. It's a rare night. Usually it's either blowing in or out.
Has seen quite a bit of Fernando Rodney. Rodney has pitched with the Tigers, the Angels, the Rays, the Mariners, and now the Cubs. On the ground to third. Bryant gets a big hop. A stretch by Coughlin. And there are 2 down. Gordon. Wade Davis staying loose in the event that the Royals take the lead. If they don't, it looks like we'll see Miguel Almonte in the bottom of the 11th. Alex is 0 for 3 tonight. He reached with a walk back in the 1st inning. And he has struck out twice.
Alex 3 for 9. Got a double.
Rodney got a glove on it, picks it up, throws in time to get Alex.
Nice play. Win. They've been doing their job, no doubt. They've been shutting up the Cubbies tonight. Hochevar, Herrera, Madsen, all been on top of their game, and they're trying to keep it there. Now it's Miguel Almonte's turn. Hopefully he can follow suit, shut them down, give the Royals a chance to win.
We've been doing some scoreboard watching for the game in Baltimore as the Orioles were hosting the Blue Jays. Here in Chicago, they're doing scoreboard watching with this series, and the Cubs trailing St. Louis by 7.5, so they've been eliminated from winning the division, but they'd like to pass the Pirates in the wild card. Before we could tell you that that was Chris DeNorfia, he ends the game. So it took 4 months, but the Cubs win the series with the Royals this year, 2-1, and both of their wins were in walk-off fashion. That's the 13th walk-off win for the Cubs this year, and 2 against the Royals. Chris DeNorfia, pinch hitting for Fernando Rodney, sees 1 pitch from Miguel Almonte, and that's all he needed to see.
Yep, and that makes DeNorfia 11 for 33 as a pinch hitter. Pinch hitters love first pitches, and Almonte gave him the cookie.
So that's good news for the Cubs. Not only did they win, but we were showing you that the Pirates lost. We'll wrap things up when we come back.